All right, hello, government class. Another week of quarantine down, another week of quarantine to go. I finally got all of your essay questions graded. Um, I read each and every one of your essay questions, tried to give you guys some constructive feedback on how you could have gone maybe a little bit more in depth in what you wrote, and I also wanted to give you guys just some thoughts on that aspect of like Roe versus Wade, um, how our how our Constitution can be viewed as living, and also the aspect of Brown versus the Board of Education. I know growing up that I obviously knew that there was another race, and other more than just one other race, but the one thing that we fail to see sometimes is the fact that these other races have problems that we don't have as being a white or predominantly white society, like, or even structure in school. Um, you go back to the old saying of you got to walk 1,000 miles in someone's shoes before you really truly understand what they're going through, or a million miles, or whatever it is. Um, just sitting here, I don't know what you guys are going through. I don't know what your home life is, and you don't really know what my home life is. And it's not until we actually forge some type of relationship that we understand what each person, or maybe the closest people to you, are going through. Because there are a lot of people who are very, very private about what they go through. And one of the things that I have really come to understand is the fact that the black friends that I have, or the other racial friends that I have, or even mixed racial friends that I have, a lot of them do not really enjoy talking about the problems that they have, or the looks that they get, or the jobs that they might not have received because they were of a different race. And then you have to look at the flip side of it also. Um, I have been that person who has gone into a predominantly African American area, and been that only white person probably on that street. And you see the looks that you get when you cross that railroad track to those sides, especially when you are wearing a uniform, carrying a badge, and driving a patrol vehicle that says officer on the side of it. You definitely get to see the difference in how we interact with each other, and the stereotypical aspects of life. I want to get together and maybe hash some of this stuff out a little bit more, and try to do maybe like an online forum where we do Google Meets, and we have a chance to maybe discuss some of this stuff, because I do think that some of you have really great ideas, and I honestly, most of you, if not all of you, have really great ideas. Some might not be able to convey them the best on a Google Doc like that, and they might actually rather talk about these things. And even talking about something and seeing or hearing what someone else has to say about something might actually jog your mind and your memory on what you might know about that aspect of life. So I'm thinking about tomorrow. I will put an invite out. I'll let you guys know what time I would like you guys to be on there, and try to make it. I'll try to make it a later time, because I know half of you guys probably sleep until noon because you're up until 5 in the morning. But I would like to see most of you guys, and try to get a talk going, a little dialogue aspect. where we see each other, one, and two, we get to hash out some differences and maybe some similarities with some of these questions, and no arguing. Deans, Fitch, no arguing. So I'll put that out, and we'll see what we can hash out maybe tomorrow, and hopefully most of you guys take the time to be in this for maybe an hour at the most. So I did want to get back to the finishing of our political parties. We've gone over Democrat and Republican parties and the belief systems that they have. We'll look at I'll look at those really quick again, just going over it, skimming. So you look at the Republican Party, more associated with conservatives, or those moderate conservatives, people who view religion as being one of the main aspects of political correctness. You also look at the way they look at the economy. They look at big business, and they look at the way of taxing people. They're more in tune to giving lower tax rates to wealthy aspects than they are than their counterparts, the Democrats, who would more than likely want to tax the wealthy higher. They also believe in this exceptionalism, this American exceptionalism, where we are the basically like the police of the world. There are we're supposed to be in all world affairs, which I find interesting with Donald Trump. And I'm not trying to bash him or his administration, but he runs as a Republican, and he appeals to a lot of Republicans, but a lot of Republicans really still kind of look at this American exceptionalism, I believe. But you have someone like Trump who one of his main goals was to pull out of all Muslim countries and go back to this like introvertedness of looking at our country instead of outside aspects, and strengthening us as a country instead of strengthening the world in general. So it's kind of interesting to see where the Republican Party is, and it's going to be interesting to see where the Democratic Party is after Joe Biden gets the nomination, because you have so many polarizing people within the Democratic Party. This alt-left, that was Bernie Sanders type following people, where healthcare for all, abortion is totally legal, those types of aspects, free schooling, taxing the wealthier way higher than even what most moderate Democrats, moderate liberals look at. So again, this election is going to be very interesting to see unfold, and we might get to the point where again these moderate conservatives and moderate liberals are torn between two sides. Do they vote for a Democrat? Do they vote for a Republican? Do they switch sides because they don't like the way the current administration is doing something, or do they switch sides because they don't think Joe Biden is fit to be president? You have so many different aspects that come within this, but that's down the road to see here in September, October, and November, how it plays out. So the Democratic Party, remember, believes that we're greater together as an individual. My stupid analogy, I'm sure most of you guys were probably like, what the heck is he talking about, with Mike Krzyzewski and the fist analogy, open hand, closed fist, so forth and so on. You also look at, they want to protect consumers, and the financial, housing, and energy industries. They're more interested in giving money towards renewable energy than giving it towards coal, or something that we know that sooner or later is going to run out, but we might not know exactly when it's going to run out. They want to kind of look at the future and harness those aspects. Democrats are more less likely, to want to become involved in military conflicts, and they generally want to reduce government spending. Remember, Bill Clinton is the last president to actually have a zero growth in our national budget. So we have these aspects between the two. Now we need to look at third parties. Okay, remember what I was talking to you guys about too with Ross Perot, the big-eared guy. I mean, I had big ears, but this guy's ears were like, whew. He was a very successful third-party candidate. No, he did not win an election, but he influenced in the two elections he ran in. I think it was two. I don't think it was three. I think it was two. He really helped and hindered certain sides of that election. Now we look at parties that are considered third parties, or minor political parties here in the United States. And you might look at, these aspects of the Libertarian Party, the Communist Party of America, Green Party. There's actually a Marijuana Party, Independent American Party. You've got so many different minor political third parties that you have a choice to obviously join one of these parties. But the problem with it is, and we've talked about this, is that it comes to a point where these third parties really don't gain much traction in our politics in the United States. Remember, we're a winner-take-all system. We are a two-party system, not a multi-party system like most European nations, where you have 10, 15 parties that at one point in time can have a percentage of power in the government. We really look at it as being, hey, do you have, does the Republicans have most of the power in the government? Are they holding the executive branch, the Senate, and the House of Representatives? Is it the Democrats that hold most of it? Or are we kind of divided in this aspect? So we have these minor third parties, these minor American political parties that we look at. And most of these minor political parties are single-issue parties. You might look at the Green Party as being a truly like resourceful party, where we're looking at the aspect of environment. You look at like the Socialist Party and the Communist Party. They're really somebody who is looking at 1 to 2 issues, and a lot of times these minor parties get absorbed into the bigger parties because the issues that they have start gaining that traction, and they're realizing, these bigger parties, the Democrats, the Republicans, are realizing that they're losing people to these smaller parties, and they go, let's bring in this issue and start talking about this issue so we can bring these people back to our party. We don't want to lose them, because losing them shows that we are now losing voters, and losing voters is going to make us possibly lose the elections. So if you go to slide 34, we're just looking at and talking about what these parties are. So I'm going to go over them quickly. If you're keeping notes still, just write down Green Party, Libertarian Party, Constitution Party, and maybe like a sentence on describing them. All right. So you got the Green Party as the first one we're going to look at. Generally, they're more liberal than normal Democrats. So you're approaching that alt left. Okay. They focus on environmental issues, but they also have developed platforms for civil rights, foreign policy, economics, education, and criminal justice. So they really have moved on to being more than just a single issue party. But the first issue that they really came out with and really busted onto the scene with was environmental issues. Okay, they're still around. They're still a minor party that is still trying to gain traction within our country. You have the Libertarian Party. Believes in personal responsibility and minimal government intrusion. Sounds like more like the Republican side of it. Government should not interfere with the free market. Republican side of it. The only role for the American military is a response to aggression. So now you kind of get back to the Democrat side of it, where we're not wanting to be the police of the world, and we want to be more of a little bit of an introvert aspect. But you can see this Libertarian Party, they have some Republican views and some Democratic views also. And I'm trying to think, was it Newt Gingrich? Let me make sure. Libertarian Party. I can't remember if Newt Gingrich was part of the Libertarian Party. Position did Newt Gingrich have? Let's see. He was a representative, and so Newt Gingrich does belong to the Republican Party. So he was not part of the Libertarian Party. I could have sworn that they had the Libertarian Party had somebody that was a big candidate. But anyway, the Libertarian Party in itself is still a party that's being followed, and let's see. So the reason they were founded, which is interesting, and it kind of goes with that third point, was that the party was prompted in part due to concerns about the Nixon administration, Vietnam War, conscription, and the introduction of fiat money. So they were definitely their symbol's kind of funny. It's a porcupine. But that's the Libertarian Party. Let's go to the Constitution Party. They're generally more conservative than normal Republicans. They advocate to abolish most federal taxes, including the income tax. They want your money to be your money. They want to dismantle all federal agencies, all of them. FBI, DEA, CIA, EPA, all of them gone. They want to phase out Social Security and end all other social welfare programs. So basically, this is getting to your alt-right with Republicans and that aspect. They're looking to let you live your life. If you want to invest, then you invest. If you don't want to invest in your retirement, then you don't invest in your retirement. They don't think that federal agencies should have any type of power. They should be all gone. There should be no FBI. So maybe we just go back to normal sheriffs. I don't know. I really have not really gotten into the Constitution Party, but you can see that they are more of a generally alt-right party. So the three parties we went over today are Green, Libertarian, Constitution. Last thing I'll tell you guys and have you guys look at before, I want you guys to go to slide 35. And here is how I'm going to know if you watch this video or not. All right. I want you to answer the question, and I'll put this on classwork also, of how many states on this 2018 party affiliation map are solid Republicans, meaning that they are deep red, okay? Solid Republican states on this map. And it's interesting when you look at this map that we would look at it as being maybe most of the South as being solid Republican, and there are a few states in the South, but it's not as solid as you would think it would be, where most of these states actually are that were solid Republican in 2018. So that is it. I will put together. We're down to what, 1, 2, 3 slides and a video for this. But I'll put this in classroom and change it as classwork. that you need to answer this question at the end of the video. Okay, and then I will put out a time as an announcement for you guys to get on tomorrow, probably afternoon, maybe like 2 o'clock or something like that. Give you guys a chance to wake up, eat breakfast at 11:30, noon, whatever, and then join. Please try to be on. Wouldn't mind seeing some of your guys' faces that have not been a part of some of the other ones that I've had. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Hopefully see all of you, if not most of you. See you later. Again, if you guys need anything, let me know. Here to help you guys. See ya.